Let me find the Meg. I want to find out what Mike is up to. And Mike, I don't want to yell at you too much tonight, but I have to yell at you about this again. I know. I hate it.
It's in the chat. It's in the chat. I dropped it in the chat.
No, I know, but I got to show it. I'm looking it up, and all right. So,
you guys,
I'm only saying this because I care about you, Mike. I'm only doing this because I care. If I didn't care about you, I'd be like, whatever. All right. So here's the situation. These guys. Do I want to talk about this again?
Do you want me to explain it?
All right. Yeah. You explain it, and where you get it wrong, I'll fix you. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. So my friends who I've worked with in the past on like Game of Thrones and a bunch of other stuff, they approached me with this project, the MEG. It was on a very tight deadline. At first, I was just going to write it and art direct it. But then the schedule was getting like really tight. So I said, all right, I'll draw it. But I'm going to require, this much per page. And so they agreed, signed the contracts, all that stuff. And I told them I wanted to get paid up front for the first 2 issues. And they agreed. They got the funding, paid me up front. So I got started on the book, I got 2 issues into it, got 3rd issue into it, and I solicited or I invoiced. And then they started having issues with their funding partner who was looking at my page rate going, why are we paying so much for the MEG because he was used to hiring them hiring Brazilians and whatnot. And you know how cheap they are.
Yep.
And
That's
so, no, it's a freaking fact. That's why Marvel's farming out to so many Brazilians. And so, ultimately, after like a month or 2, actually a little over a month of just going back and forth, they freaking bailed on the project.
Right.
The funders bailed on the project. And I'm like more than halfway through the project at this point, and I'm like, it's got to get done. I trust at some point I'm going to get paid. So I just went ahead and finished the project. And it's just, and then a bunch of other more personal stuff has happened since. And I didn't get paid.
Right.
And then I got into the situation where we had this finished book here. And I'm like, I approached them and I'm like, hey, how about this? I'm going to run this as an Indiegogo. I'll do an exclusive cover for it. We'll run it as an exclusive book. This as a trade probably won't come out until for a year in stores through Diamond. So I'm like, I'll do it. The money will come to me, and then I will divvy up royalties and whatnot to go to you. So that way, I can. So I got a lot. Here's
what Rob Liefeld would do.
I'm sitting on a licensed book.
No, you're not.
Of a $500 million.
And people thought I was dumb.
No, Mike. All you have to do is change it. Instead of it's about a megalodon, it's called the Meg. Call it the Don. Okay, and then you read. It's your artwork, your pages. Why are you giving these a-holes anything? They stiffed you. They made you draw 4 issues of a book. Okay. 4 issues of a book. They didn't pay you a dime. If I were you, I would be doing that. What's that gesture that the French do with the thumb and the teeth, and they go like that at people? That's what you have to do to these people. This is your artwork. It has nothing to do with them. Somebody says Peglodon. Call it the Peglodon. Yeah. Call it the Egglodon. Who cares? Call it.
I know you're being facetious, but
no, I'm not. I'm not being facetious.
It's based on Steve Alton's novel, dude.
Who cares?
Change up everything about it.
You can't change everything about it. What would be the point?
Change up their names and the dialogue, and it's now yours.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It does.
It doesn't.
The Chinese do it all the time.
I mean, this is like Mike took a job at 7-Eleven and he worked there for 4 months and they never paid him once. And then he's just like, well, I'm going to do funding to make up the money. And they're like, well, we don't have any money. That's why I'm going to make up the money that I would have made. I'm going to pay you guys the money that you were out by hiring me and keeping your store open while I worked there. I'm going to make sure you guys get funded. Screw these people, dude. Screw them with a black spiky, right up the. Change.
So
the
also
tone.
there is Six Gun Samurai,
not-
which is my own project.
This is why my next book is making more than Mike.
Oh, this is infuriating.
My next book is going to make more than Mike's.
So there,
All right,
there's
guys,
3 books. There
It's
are
all
3
love.
books. The second book is
Mike,
Six Gun Samurai.
if you give these, you know what? Honestly, I am like, I'm like John Travolta sitting with you in a diner. You are Samuel L. Jackson. If you give these motherfuckers excuse my language, one dime, I'm going to shoot you on general principle. Do not give these people anything. We screwed you over while you drew this entire comic book. You've got the pages. You do not need to be paying them anything. Change the name of the stupid comic into something else. It's your shark book. Change the dialogue. People can say, "Oh, it's a ripoff of the Meg," and you can go, "Oh, well, the Meg was a ripoff of Mike S. Miller for 4 months." Shrug.
Well, they already paid for the
Snap.
They paid for the first 2 issues.
Oh, I'm so angry.
So
Call it Don, the were-shark.
Mike, you would not do well on Wall Street, Michael. That's all I can say.
Oh.
he wouldn't be good at anything.
What does the chat think? Does the chat think I am right, or does the chat think Mike is right? I'm going to turn it over to the chat. If you think I'm right, put Ethan. If you think Mike's right, put Mike, and we'll just see. If I'm right about my attitude, let me know. If Mike's right about his forgiving Christ-like attitude in which he gets screwed over by a bunch of idiots, go ahead and put Mike in there.
If one person says Mike, I denounce you right now.
I do have 2 other books in this Indiegogo that are my own that people are also supporting.
Congrats.
No, that's good. That's good. I'm happy about that. I want them to do well.
Well, I got a question, Mike.
Yeah.
How would you determine the profits for your 2 books and their profit, like from their point of view?
Math.
See, by the way, the chat is about chat's about 70-30 me, but there are people who say Mike is right. Now look, Mike had no choice. He had many mouths to feed. Yes, but he didn't feed them because these people ripped him off, and Mike is trying. These people, Mike's not responsible for paying them. They were responsible for paying Mike. He did all this work for them, and they had an agreement. I mean, Mike is like the best thing to ever happen to them in 3 different ways.
Mike, change the story. You still have time. Make it a were-shark. Somebody gets raped by a merman, and then every full moon he turns into the Meg. Simple.
Yeah.
I think you should turn it into a King Kong type story where the shark falls in love with Meg, who's in the foreground there in front of the shark. So it's a romance.
Yeah, Meg is the name of the girl, not the shark. Just change
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I love that. That's still, you got to think like Rob Liefeld in this situation.
And then he
Like,
fights
what
off
would
the
Rob
sailors.
Liefeld do?
Over 400 pages worth of comics for $50.
Mike.
Best deal in Comicsgate.
And
Best
then he
deal on
fights off.
Indiegogo.
Then he fights off the Navy trying to protect Meg.
You know what? If I'm going to spend time on another project, it's going to be one of my other projects. It's not going to be trying to rehash something to squeeze a dime out of it. I have this project. I want to work with these guys. They're good guys. They just had a rough situation. I can't blame them because their funding partners freaking got cheap. Could you? I mean,
John,
Ethan,
what
you might
does
have
John
stopped
Mellon
doing the job, but
What does John Mellon think? John's right about everything.
Malin Militia.
Because I was going to be very neutral on this. I want Mike to do whatever Mike thinks is best, and then I look forward to seeing more Blacklist Universe projects coming out.
yeah, boy.
Ethan wants blood.
I'm furious at what they did to Mike.
I want romance between
I want blood.
a woman and a shark.
Can I be the shark?
That's how you become a mermaid in John Malin's word.
I'll take it. I'll become a mermaid.
The shark hugs her with his teeth.
All right, everyone's basically saying that Mike is going to go to heaven. They think Mike is. They think Mike is a good guy. Yeah.
But then Mike, did Mike do them a favor because Mike just condemned them for being stingy and greedy?
Yeah.
They were not. The funding partners. They weren't expecting it. I don't want to make bad guys out of anybody here. They just, except that they pulled the plug on my funding. But
Red user one says EVS is going to hell. All right, go ahead. Mike is good guy. Mike is a human Sunbeam too. All right, change my evil way. It's the same guy saying all this stuff, by the way, about me.
So if Mike's not gonna steal it, then I got to steal it. So I'm gonna make the Don now with somebody else.
That's not a bad idea.
All right, who's with me?
He'd be like a Godfather shark. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
He'd be the king of sharks, the Don.
Mafia sharks.
Right. It'd be like Goodfellas, but they're all sharks.
And he needs a Tommy gun.
All right, do we have Comicsgate girl in the chat now?
Looks like it.
It looks like she's muted.
She should mute herself.
So there are 2 other books in that Indiegogo, Ethan.
There's one
Yeah,
called
I know,
Black
I
and
know.
White too.
All right, let me. I'm sorry,
And Sciver.
Mike, I'm sorry. Look, I feel anger about this whole thing still, because I was there. I saw this happen, and the fact that these guys you're going to take care of them after this, it does bother me. But people are right. You are an angel, Mike.